Did you know Jose Vitor Leme used to play soccer before becoming a bull riding champion? Or that JB Mooney's life has taken a surprising turn since he stepped away from the arena? The reality of a bull rider's lifestyle is far from what most people expect. Behind the fame and adrenaline are relentless pain, financial struggles, and sacrifices that never make the highlight reel. From shocking career shifts to the hidden costs of the sport, we're diving into the untold stories of bull riding's biggest names. JB Mooney. JB Mooney has built his name on fearlessness, but that kind of attitude doesn't come without a cost. His body has been beaten, broken, and stitched back together more times than anyone can count, yet he refuses to step away from the adrenaline rush of bull riding. If there's one thing Mooney knows, it's pain. Busted bones, concussions, and injuries that would have made most people call it quits years ago. There's no off switch in his mind, no pause button for common sense. His entire career has been a tug-of-war between pushing the limits and paying the price, and so far, he's accepted every consequence without blinking. When he's not dodging hooves or getting slammed into the dirt, he sticks to the cowboy lifestyle, spending time on his ranch and hunting for relaxation. But retirement isn't some peaceful walk into the sunset for a man like Mooney. Slowing down doesn't seem to be in his nature. He still craves the high-stakes energy of the sport, still circles around the rodeo world like a restless predator. Make sure to hit that like button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Jess Lockwood. Jess Lockwood climbed to the top of the bull riding world at lightning speed, but staying there takes more than just luck. Behind that easygoing Montana cowboy image is a rider obsessed with training, pushing his body to its limits to keep up with the brutal demands of the sport. Strength, balance, endurance, every aspect of his fitness is carefully calculated and relentlessly honed. Unlike some of his competitors who lean on natural talent, Lockwood knows that skill alone isn't enough to stay alive in this game. The sport is unforgiving, and he's witnessed firsthand what happens to those who slack off even for a second. Despite his young age, Lockwood doesn't buy into the reckless cowboy stereotype. He's not the kind of guy to burn himself out at parties or get tangled in the distractions that come with fame. His discipline keeps him focused, and even when he's not competing, he's working on ways to sharpen his abilities. While others treat their time off as a break, he treats it as a preparation for his next challenge. That hunger for perfection isn't just a personality trait, it's the very thing that separates legends from forgettable names. Lockwood is well aware that bull riding careers are short, and he's not about to waste a single second. Jose Vitor Leme. Some guys rely on bravado, but Jose Vitor Leme lets his skills do all the talking. Coming from Brazil, he's built his career on raw discipline, training with the kind of focus that leaves no room for distractions. Before stepping into the bull riding world, he played soccer, a sport that demands footwork, agility, and mental toughness. Skills that turned out to be just as useful when facing down a furious bull. He doesn't ride for the thrill or the attention. He rides because he is a competitor, and there's no greater challenge than staying on a beast that wants to throw him into the dirt. Leme's lifestyle is built on the same precision that makes him an elite rider. Every meal, every workout, every practice ride is meticulously structured. He isn't out there winging it or hoping for luck to be on his side. His approach is almost surgical, breaking down every move and refining his technique to perfection. Unlike the riders who chase sponsorships and social media fame, he prefers a quieter existence. When he's not in the arena, he's with his family, avoiding the noise and hype that surrounds professional bull riding. To him, success isn't about becoming a celebrity, it's about becoming the absolute best in the sport. Silvano Alves. Silvano Alves doesn't do reckless. Every move he makes in and out of the arena is calculated, and that's exactly how he became a three-time world champion. He studies bulls like a scientist, analyzing their every move, their habits, and their weaknesses before he ever steps foot in the chute. That methodical approach carries over into his daily life, where he sticks to a strict training routine and rarely strays from his disciplined lifestyle. There's no excess, no unnecessary risks. Everything Alves does serves a purpose, and that's why he's managed to have such a long career in a sport that chews up and spits out most riders before they even hit their prime. Family remains his top priority, and he often returns to Brazil to support young riders chasing the same dream. He isn't interested in the flash and chaos that come with being a champion. His world revolves around stability, something almost unheard of in bull riding. While others burn out from the chaos of the sport, Elvis proves that strategy and patience can outlast pure grit any day. He's a reminder that longevity in bull riding isn't about taking the biggest risks, but about making the smartest moves. Guilherme Marchi. Guilherme Marchi, a name that echoes through the bull riding world, didn't get to the top by accident. His life is a strict routine of staying in shape, training up-and-coming riders, and trying to keep his bones intact after years of brutal rides. Since stepping away from competition, he's poured his energy into grooming the next wave of champions. Owning a ranch gives him a reason to wake up early, get his hands dirty, and pretend he doesn't miss the adrenaline rush of riding a one-ton animal bred to throw him off. The man is respected, sure, but anyone thinking retirement means he's living easy should take a second look. He's still in the trenches, just in a different way. He spends hours training new riders, watching their mistakes, correcting their posture, and making sure they don't learn the hard way like he did. The physical toll of the sport is something he understands better than anyone. Bones crack, bruises linger, and the spine takes a hit every single time a rider is thrown off. For Marchi, the goal isn't just to teach technique, it's to teach survival. He lives by the belief that preparation can mean the difference between getting up or never riding again. His ranch isn't a retirement home. It's a place where future champions are forged, whether they like it or not. Tuff Hedeman. Tuff Hedeman isn't just a legend. He's the kind of guy who leaves a dent in everything he touches. Retirement didn't mean slowing down for him, it just meant shifting gears. Now, he's a power player behind the scenes, making sure bull riding keeps growing and that young riders don't get trampled before they can even make a name for themselves. His Texas ranch is a world of its own, where cattle roam and the rodeo spirit never dies. He's still that no-nonsense, hard-headed cowboy who doesn't back down from a fight, whether it's against a bull or the politics of the sport. He's not here for nostalgia. He's here making sure the next generation has it better than he did. The man knows what it takes to win, but he also knows what it takes to get destroyed by the very thing that made him famous. He's taken his share of near-death experiences, and if there's one thing he preaches, it's the absolute necessity of understanding the animal. A bull doesn't care about trophies or prize money. It doesn't know who Tuff Hedeman is, and it sure as hell doesn't care about someone's reputation. It only cares about survival, which is why it fights as hard as it does. He spends his time training new riders to respect that fight rather than underestimate it. Chris Shivers. Chris Shivers may not be climbing on bulls anymore, but don't think for a second he's sitting still. This man operates at full speed, whether it's coaching young riders, hunting in the Louisiana backwoods, or keeping up with his kids. Retirement didn't soften him, it just gave him more time to do what he loves without the constant threat of getting stomped into the dirt. He's still a mentor, still passionate about the sport, and still the same guy who rode like he had nothing to lose. The only difference is now, when he hits the ground, it's by choice and not because a bull sent him flying. Living in Louisiana gives Shivers access to his second love, the outdoors. Whether it's hunting, fishing, or just teaching his kids how to appreciate the wild, he's in his element. His life revolves around discipline, a lesson he's carried over from his bull riding days. It's about patience, skill, and knowing when to strike. Bull riding and hunting share one fundamental rule: hesitation gets you hurt. Ty Murray. Ty Murray doesn't do anything halfway, and that includes retirement. He built his life on being the best all-around cowboy, and that mindset hasn't changed. Sure, he traded the rodeo circuit for a quieter ranch life, but let's be honest, his idea of quiet isn't what most people think. He's still riding horses, still working the land, and still deeply involved in keeping the cowboy way of life alive. Television work lets him bring rodeo into the mainstream, but that's just a side gig. At his core, he's a traditionalist who believes in hard work, discipline, and living by a code that doesn't make room for shortcuts. He may not be competing, but the fire hasn't burned out. It's just burning in a different direction. Murray's focus is now on passing down the values that made him one of the best. He mentors young riders, preaches the importance of grit, and still puts in the kind of work most people half his age wouldn't even bother with. The life of a cowboy isn't about making money. It's about proving something to yourself. Adriano Moraes. Adriano Moraes didn't just ride bulls, he built a legacy. His career wasn't just about wins, it was about proving that discipline, faith, and sheer grit could take you to the top. Retirement hasn't changed him much. He's still focused, still teaching, and still carrying the kind of presence that commands respect. He spends his day guiding young riders, hammering in the importance of mental toughness alongside physical training. Faith plays a huge role in his life, and he credits it for keeping him steady even after leaving the arena behind. He might not be in the spotlight as much these days, but make no mistake, his influence is still shaping the sport. The mental game is what Moraes hammers into every rider who comes to him for guidance. He tells them that physical talent will only take them so far. They need resilience, the kind that doesn't waver even after a nasty fall. He knows too many riders who had all the ability in the world but fell apart after one brutal ride. Bull riding doesn't care about talent. It cares about mental toughness, whether a rider can get up, shake off the pain, and go again. That's what Moraes teaches, and that's why he still matters to the sport. Sage Kimzey. Sage Kimzey is still in the thick of it, proving year after year why he's one of the best in the business. His life is a mix of brutal training, mental preparation, and making sure every ride counts. When he's not on the road chasing champions, he's at his ranch working just as hard off the bulls as he does on them. His career is far from over, but he's already inspiring young riders who want to follow in his footsteps. Kimzey isn't just riding bulls, he's building a future, and every move he makes is calculated to keep him at the top for as long as his body lets him. In a sport where careers can end in seconds, he's playing the long game and he's playing to win. Is bull riding a true test of bravery, or is it just a reckless sport that puts lives at risk for entertainment? Tell us what you think, and remember to like and subscribe.